It's showtime. Fire, you son of a bitch!
Oh, God!
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with the Father and the Holy Spirit. Damien!
I swallow your soul! I swallow your soul!
Swallow this.
Greetings and welcome to Fright Night Flicks, where every night is Fright Night. Since its release on Netflix last year, the Chilean surreal horror film Conde has quickly become one of my personal favourites in the horror genre. Directed by Pablo Larraín, who also helmed Spencer, Conde offers a unique blend of style and storytelling. The film reimagined Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet as a 250-year-old vampire longing for death, weaving a darkly satirical narrative with sharp historical comedy. With Pablo Larraín's next feature, Maria, starring Angelina Jolie, set to hit cinemas and Netflix later this year, I thought it would be a great time to revisit Conde and see if it still holds up as a hidden gem I remember. But I'm not doing this alone today. I am thrilled to be joined by my good friend Cody House from Video Store Rejects for this special episode. I have been bugging him all year to check this film out, and now for the first ever Fright Night Flicks collaboration, we finally get to dive into Conde together. After my most rewatch of the film, and Cody's first time seeing the film, here's what we had to say about Conde.
Yo no quiero vivir 250 años más.
¿Por qué no?
Porque me trataron de ladrón.
Cody, thank you for being here. How does it feel to be the first ever guest on Fright Night Flicks?
Oh, wow. I'm honored to be the first guest for your Fright Night Flicks channel. I mean, especially since it's spooky season, my favorite time of the year.
Glad to hear, glad to hear. And for those who don't know, today we are talking about Netflix's Conde. First off, I want to apologise for nagging you about this film so much. But now you've finally seen it, what are your thoughts on Conde?
Overall, I really enjoyed it. I think the cinematography is beautiful. It's an amazing looking film, especially that went straight to Netflix, right? It was distributed through Netflix, which is probably a good way for people to see it because there's a lot of people like me that probably wouldn't have seen this film otherwise. Also, I really love the concept of the movie, and I think it was a unique take on the vampire.
Yes, I agree. Very unique take, and also really strong political satire as well.
Oh, absolutely. The movie itself made me scared. I was like, oh, geez, I hope some of our problematic political people aren't actually vampires.
Yeah, I get exactly what you mean. Does at the moment your politics is all up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I love this film for its unique style and intriguing storyline. Pablo Larraín, the director, his other films, Jackie and Spencer, they've received a lot of critical acclaim. But Conde has always kind of like stayed hidden gem. Do you think this film's a bit harder to access compared to Jackie and Spencer?
Well, I haven't seen Jackie. I know it got a lot of critical acclaim, especially for Natalie Portman's performance. I can't remember. Did she get an Oscar nomination for that?
Yes, she did. She lost to Emma Stone for La La Land.
Right. But I don't know if it's harder to access because I've seen Spencer and you could accuse both films of kind of being slow. Like, they're not exactly fast moving narratives. It's kind of they're both kind of meandering, and I don't mean that as a negative way. I just mean like they take their time with the character development. So there's not like There is plot, but there's not like a lot of plot happening where the movie's moving in a fast motion. But I think I like this movie more than Spencer. Me personally.
Same. I agree. This one had a more interesting plot. Well, we know all about Diana, so she's not as interesting on film.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, I think they did an interesting job, but yeah, like I mean, I didn't know all the stuff that Spencer went into, but I knew like, the highlights of what the movie's dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think Diana's story is handled better in The Crown.
Yes, overall, I would agree, though I know a lot of people were highly critical of that last season of The Crown.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I keep meaning to.
Oh, you haven't finished it? You bothered me for, I think, at least a year about finishing season 5, and now I've already caught up and finished the show.
I'm my own worst enemy, Cody. Yes.
Isn't it part of your British citizenship duty to watch the whole Crown? I mean,
Probably. Anyway, with Pablo's new film Maria on the way, do you think Conde could gain more attention if people start revisiting his filmography?
I mean, it's a possibility. Didn't the cinematography get an Oscar nomination, or did it not?
Yeah, for Conde did. Yeah, that's why Justin decided to actually watch it in the end.
Okay. Possibly, I guess, people who are completionists, and if they really like this director's work, they should check it out. Also, it is spooky season. It's a vampire movie. I mean,
Exactly.
I wouldn't say this movie's scary, but yeah, you should check it out because it's definitely a unique and interesting take on the vampire lore. Like, I've never seen any other thing portray vampires this specific way. And I do like that they use actual real life political dictators and leaders for their satire in the movie as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I showed this to a friend and he was just weirded out by it. It's more of a surrealist kind of film. That's the way I look at it.
It's very much a surrealist film, and this definitely is not a film for everyone. Whereas you were saying, I think that's where you're getting with Jackie and Spencer, is they're probably more accessible because these are movies about real life figures and people that we're interested in. I'm hearing his new film that it's got Angelina Jolie in it, right? She's the lead.
Yeah. So I think this will be probably the most accessible film he's going, given like she's one of the last of the proper movie stars.
Yeah, I'm hearing she might get an Oscar nomination for it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm happy. I wouldn't mind if she won. I wouldn't mind if she won.
I can't remember who people are saying is the favorite for Best Actress. I know that a lot of people are saying Zoe Saldana for Best Supporting Actress for the film she's in.
Yeah, I really want to see Emilia Perez.
I think that's going to be on Netflix. So
yes, I'm hoping Emilia Perez will be bigger than Conde was. It's got more awards buzz around it, but
and it's got why am I drawing a blank on her name? Selena Gomez is in it.
Yes, so. I love her. Yes, but going back to Conde, one thing that stood out about the film is its acclaim for the stunning black and white cinematography shot by Edward Lachman, which even earned an Oscar nomination. Would you say the cinematography is the main highlight of this film?
I would say it is definitely up there. If it's not the main highlight, it's at least one of the things I would praise the film for is its cinematography. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it looks great in black and white.
Yes, I agree. The cinematography really stands out. And what I also want to highlight are the visual effects, because you can tell that the flying scenes were green screen, but they kind of looked more realistic.
Yeah, I didn't feel like they were fake looking. I mean, obviously it's special effects, but I
Yeah.
thought they looked pretty good, especially again for a movie that went straight to Netflix.
Yeah. Netflix needs to do the Amazon thing. Have it out for a month first and then put it on streaming.
Yeah, I don't know how it is over there in England, Robbie, but over here I feel like we don't the the prestigious Netflix films like this and The Killer and Knives Out and stuff like that from big time filmmakers. I think they get like 1 week engagement, and they're
Yes,
mostly
I
cut.
managed to see The Killer in the week my cinema had it.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing: is it's only a week, but it's mostly in like either art house movie theaters in bigger areas in the states, or it's playing in a multiplex that's in larger areas, like small town areas where I'm from. We hardly ever get a Netflix movie playing.
Yeah, we only get some at my work. I think it depends on like the contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what would you say were your favorite shots and sequences in the film?
Oh my goodness. So trying to remember all the things, the highlights I like. I mean I really like most of the sequences of the main character when it turns out it's his butler that's doing all the crimes. Like a lot of those sequences are really good
Yeah.
of him flying around and like hunting and killing people. Like that one shot on the ship is really good.
Yeah.
Definitely got some Dracula vibes there.
Nice. Nice. Glad to hear. I do. Yeah. Overall, I just think this film is a visually stunning masterpiece, and I'm glad that out of all the nominations it got, I'm glad it got cinematography. Yeah. Edward Lachman. He also shot Far From Heaven.
Ah, another beautiful looking film.
Yes. So I'm hoping Maria is just as beautiful as Al Conde. So I can see it getting a. Maybe he might get a double nomination back to back.
Maybe so.
Yes. Yes. Now let's move on to the main core of a movie, the story and the screenplay. I find this film to be a fun ride that you can kind of turn your brain off to and just enjoy. Did you get the same energy from it?
Yeah, for a movie that feels like it's art housey and Americans think anything from another country is art housey automatically, no matter what the genre is. But for a movie that's dealing with political satire and family drama, I mean, it's deeply just about a vampire at the end of his life debating if he wants to keep living. But I thought it was kind of, yeah, it was pretty fun and easy to follow.
Yeah. Do you think it helps having an English speaking narrator to help viewers unfamiliar with international films? As I feel like it might ease people into it.
Yeah, I think especially people. I guess when I watched it, it didn't automatically subtitle everybody. I don't know if that's just the nature. Some of the characters speaking in English and some of the characters are speaking in another language. But
Yeah.
like part of the movie was in English for me. But yeah, I did enjoy that. But I do think that would be an easy transition for people who don't like to watch subtitled films,
Yeah.
even though I don't know how it is for you, but almost everybody I know now watches things with the subtitles on anyways now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think because like of Netflix, people just have things on with the subtitles. They can do other stuff in the background and still pay attention to the story. And I think by doing this, I think that's how international stuff like Squid Game and Parasite and Godzilla Minus One has kind of slowly rised into the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Does the film make you curious about the real life history of, or got Augusto Pinochet. Did it inspire you to research him as a historical figure?
I mean, I didn't do any research after it, but I know more now than I did before because I knew next to nothing about the historical figure and what the movie is about. But yeah, I think it would just to see that's an interesting character to base it on.
Yeah. Do you think the film blends historical events with surreal horror effectively?
Oh, absolutely, especially with you know, how he came to rise to power and then, the backstory and stuff going on in the events of the other centuries. Yeah, I think it did it really well.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. So I think it's hard to kind of turn a historical event into fiction, but they kind of do it well in a way where it's not real, but it's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about the political satire? Did it work for you, especially considering a certain British Prime Minister played a part in the story? Because honestly, I think this is where the comedy came out.
Yeah, I mean, because I kept wondering, I was like, that voice sounds familiar. And I was thinking it was a different actor who played that part before. But then I was like, oh, yeah. And especially if you're a little more of the progressive leaning or to the left here in the States, you would find that even hilarious just knowing that prime minister's political stance, especially back in the time period
Yeah.
of that era. And I have to imagine it was even more hilarious for you being a British citizen.
Yes. 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 This certain prime minister is often known in our culture a very divided figure. There's a group that love her and a group that hate her.
Very much like who our president was at that time period.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Now, if you're a political figure, you're always going to get your fans and your haters. I think you know that from day one. Yes. So I thought the lead actor, Jaime Vidal, was brilliant as Pinochet. How did you feel about his performance? Did you think he did a great job bringing such a larger than life character to screen?
Yeah, I think he did an incredible job of not only having to portray a real life historical figure, but also play a heightened fictionalized version of that historical figure, but also play an aging vampire that wants to die. Like,
Yes.
like there's a lot of subtlety into the performance.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like his performance drives the film, but because he's kind of the highlight, I would say. Like he'd be the only actor I would consider like giving a nomination to.
Yeah, I didn't really think. I mean, I had nothing against any of the actors playing the children, but I wouldn't say any of them were highlights. I did enjoy the actor playing like his butler or a general or whatever his title was.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, he was good.
And yeah, but everybody else is playing their part the way they're supposed to. It's like not only is it a political satire and a vampire story, but it's also a little bit like a Knives Out type of situation where you have all these people at each other's throats, like literally.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's always kind of like fun to see. Yes. What type of audience do you think would appreciate this film the most?
Oh, that's hard. I would definitely, I don't know if traditional horror fans would enjoy this movie or not.
Okay.
Um, Maybe if you're a cinephile who also loves horror films, you would probably get, I would say it probably more in that range.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess Chileans will probably love this.
I would say so. If you're a fan of the director, you'll probably enjoy it. Um,
Yes.
which most cinephiles tend to be director driven in their taste, anyways.
Yeah. Also, I would say if you like stuff like Terry Gilliam.
Okay, yeah, I could
I
see.
have a lot of Terry Gilliam vibes in this.
I could see that, especially with the dark humor and the political satire with it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So before we wrap things up, did you have any questions for me about the film or anything else do you want to bring up that we haven't touched on yet?
What? So, I mean, you talked a little bit about why you like the film so much, but have you just seen this and Spencer and Jackie?
Out of his movies, yes.
So, do you think, other than what the plot is about, is this like a totally different style of movie from what you know him to be doing?
Yeah, this is a lot different to Jackie and Spencer. Lot. I know they both kind of pull on like the fantasy moments, but they kind of keep it a bit more grounded. Whereas this one, he feels like he goes all out with the surrealness.
So, why do you think he took this kind of direction for a film? Do you think he just wanted to do something different? Do you think he's like, I want to take a stab at doing not just historical fantasy biopic, but maybe do something in that realm, but a little more fantastical? Do you think he just wanted to take a stab at that sort of thing?
He probably wanted to. He probably wanted his women trilogy was going swell for him. He probably wanted to start a new trilogy where he dived into the horror of men.
Oh, does that mean we're gonna get another dictator as a werewolf?
That'd be hilarious. Yeah, I'm sold. Sign me up. Yes.
So I don't. Was this in your top 10 last year?
No, it just missed, but it was in my top 5 horror, my top 5 international film.
Okay, I just like I said, I do remember you praising it, but I was like, I don't think I remember it made your top 10.
No, it Justin was surprised about.
Probably because you yammered him as much as me about watching it.
Yes. Yes, exactly. I've done a video with Justin on this as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah, we had fun. He said at least it wasn't homework.
Okay, so that means he didn't hate it then.
No, no. But what would you rate Al Conde out of 10, and how many stars out of 5 would you give it?
So out of a 10, I guess I'd say an 8 out of 10
Nice.
and 4 out of 5 stars.
Nice. This sounds like one of the better films I've suggested to you.
Maybe so. I mean, I can't keep count. I feel like we suggest countless films to each other. So,
I lose track of what films that I recommend my friends.
right, exactly.
Yes. So, one last really fun question. What other historical figure do you think would be interesting to see in a satirical horror film?
Ooh, let me think. It could be any historical figure.
Any historical figure. This could
Okay,
be the second film of his Dictator trilogy.
let me think. I think I would like to see Theodore Roosevelt.
Ooh, sounds interesting. Sounds
I mean,
interesting.
the honest thing is they would probably try to make him like some sort of vampire hunter, which we got with Abe Lincoln. But maybe like he's like after all the monsters because he founded the national park. So maybe he fought werewolves and Bigfoot and the
Yeah,
Yeti.
yeah, that would be funny. That would be funny. For who would it be for me? You know what? I'm gonna say it would be King Henry VIII.
Okay, yeah.
Because he was a ruthless person, and I feel like you could sage him as a serial killer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because all the wives and everything.
Exactly.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. And there you have it. And that was our chat on Al Conde. Cody, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on today's video. Thank you for joining me in talking about this underrated gem that I love.
Yeah, no problem. Always a pleasure. Happy to talk spooky movies anytime.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. And that is how me and Cody discuss Al Conde. Thank you all for watching, and a big thanks again to Cody for being a part of this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Facebook, and head over to Netflix. Check Al Conde if you haven't already. If you have seen the film, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And be sure to check out some of my previous videos. I'll be back soon with a new video, but until then, stay spooky.